Now, it's one of our top tourism destinations and has the second largest population in the country. But KwaZulu-Natal also has the highest levels of political violence and the country's highest rate of people living with HIV. Home to just over 20% of registered voters, the political significance of the province cannot be overstated. Tonight, I speak to the leader of government business for KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, about the state of the province. He's also the acting KZN Premier at the moment. Mr. Zikalala, thank you so much for speaking with us. Are you ready for this influx of tourists coming through from other provinces this Easter?
Well, thanks for having us in your program, and thanks to the viewers. We are, of course, ready to host the people who will be coming from all over South Africa, and in the world to spend their holidays in KwaZulu-Natal. KwaZulu-Natal has a lot of offerings, and we say let people come and enjoy themselves with their families. We are also extending our wishes to all communities who are part of the Christian religion. We wish them well during the Easter Passover, and we believe that as South Africa, we should ensure that we continue to observe various and different religious cultures and beliefs, but in a form of understanding that we are one nation.
Now, Acting Premier, when it comes to tourism, we know that your province is well endowed, but what is your provincial government doing to help young emerging businesses, and especially businesses or people from the previously disadvantaged areas to access some of the areas where you have a lot of tourism and so forth?
Well, firstly, we have the program which seeks to support the small and medium enterprises that are involved in tourism. And that program is about mentorship, where we are supporting them, ensure that there are trainings that they get, but also we assist them in terms of marketing their product and their establishments. But beside that, there are those who host various events in townships. So when it's period like this one, we also host as government events in various areas as part of assisting them and as part of taking tourism to townships and rural areas.
Okay, let's talk about something not so, how can I put this? Let's talk about violent crimes in KZN and start with political killings in your province. We have now the interministerial task team that was put together by President Ramaphosa almost a year ago. Has that made inroads into political killings in KZN?
Firstly, we would like to start by commending the work done by the Mwerane Commission and the fact that they managed to conduct thorough investigations into the causal factors around issues of killings of political leaders, especially councillors. Secondly, it was the African National Congress, the ANC, that called for the deployment of the interministerial task team, which is currently investigating cases of political killings. We're quite impressed and we support the work they are doing. We also would want to emphasize that they must continue to work thorough on investigating all cases that are related to the killings of political leaders, councillors, and all others, irrespective of which party one belongs. But there must be thorough investigations.
Now, Mr. Zikalala, Mr. Zikalala, most of these killings seem to be internal issues because most of these killings are taking place within the ANC. We're looking at people fighting for posts at different levels of local government and so forth. This seems to be an internal problem within the ANC in KZN, is it not?
It looked like it affects mostly the African National Congress, the ANC. And that's why we are saying the police must investigate and be thorough on these issues. But we cannot undermine that there are other parties that have been affected in a process. And we will want to ensure that all cases are investigated thorough and people are prosecuted. But in doing so, we also would want police to be fair and to investigate thorough and ensure that they've got cases which are winnable and prosecute those cases.
When you talk about thorough investigations, we have a situation where Mayor Ndobe, he was arrested and then he was again released. All the charges against him were withdrawn. Surely somebody is putting the cart before the horse, and why does it seem to happen so many times?
Well, we would not want to comment on behalf of the task team and the authorities involved, but we are believing that that was really an unfair treatment, and we believe that Mayor Ndobe is at liberty to take all legal actions that are possible to him. But we want to say on behalf of government, this process must continue with legitimacy, and it must be proceed without any hindrance. And those who are in charge of law enforcement authorities must act without fear or favor and without with thoroughness, so that we get into the bottom of these issues.
Now, Acting Premier, let's look at the health system. There was a health crisis in KZN. We witnessed cancer patients being put on the waiting list for months on end due to broken machines, a shortage of oncologists as well, and even shortage of chemotherapy drugs in the province. Is that still the case, and what is the state of the health department and health services in KZN as we speak?
Well, I think it will be fair for us to start on behalf of government by apologizing that we just experienced that unfortunate situation. But following the report of the Human Rights Commission, we want to commend MEC Lomo for responding in a manner that is positive, not being defensive, and go to the Human Rights Commission report, but come back and fix the problem. We can report now that we have improved quite drastically, both Eddington, but Inkosi Chief Albert Lutuli Hospital are working hard on these issues and providing services to the people. We are providing machines. I think there are 4 machines across the province that have been added, and other additional resources are being provided. We are also training oncologists, and we believe that as we go forward, this problem will be resolved.
Okay, let me come to the hot potato issue of land, of course, and it continues to be a major issue in KZN as locals are divided on the Ingonyama Trust issue, taking ownership of the tribal land. How is your province actually dealing with this issue? Because we do know that our people need land.
Well, our people need land. That is a premise. But which land are we talking about? Because if you talk about the land that is under Ingonyama Trust, mostly though that is under the traditional leaders, and people are able to utilize land under traditional leaders without any problem. Now, the land that we are concerned about is the land that is the commercial, for commercial farming. And that is the land that we have been saying it must be expropriated for the people of South Africa and for the people of our province to ensure that they participate in commercial farming. In the province, we have established a number of programs that seek to ensure that we support small, medium enterprises and small farmers, especially subsistence and commercial farmers, to ensure that they grow in the agricultural industry. And having land will assist them. And that's why we are saying the prime land for agricultural purposes is still under the few people, especially those people are white, males, and majority of our people are kept marginalized without access to land. However, we must applaud the progress that has been made. Unlike in Western Cape, where Africans own less than 1% of farming land, in KwaZulu-Natal, the land that has been distributed to Africans is more than that. But we are saying, let's work hard to ensure that, one, we keep that land productive,
yes,
but two, we ensure that people continue to get more land so that they enter into the agricultural industry.
All right, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on ENCA. That is the acting KZN Premier, Mr. Sihle Zikalala, talking about the state of the province at the present moment. Still coming up ahead, the 400-page report by Special Counsel Robert Mueller has finally been released. That's in the U.S., of course. The investigation into Russian election interference, any ties to the Trump campaign and possible presidential obstruction was expected to deal a massive blow to Trump's hopes for re-election. But the president is in high spirits after the release, calling it a good day. We go to New York for the latest, but first up, let's take a look at your international weather.